Hello everyone, welcome back to online class. I'm Akka Mahadevi from Upper Public School, Kalaburagi. So today I'm here with an interesting chapter. Okay, so let me know which is that chapter, right? Yes, the chapter is work, force and energy. Okay, so now you might be thinking that what is this force, isn't it? Yes, let me tell you. A force is a push or a pull. Okay, so what do you mean by this? A force is a push or pull, and the complete definition of this is force is defined as a push or pull that makes an object move. Okay, so when we push or pull any object, it moves, isn't it? So when the object move, when we apply a force on it, isn't it? So force is defined as a push or pull that makes an object move. Force is applied. Where it is applied? It is applied to put a stationary object into motion. How? By increasing its speed, or to stop a moving object by decreasing its speed. Let me show you. So here you can see a man who is throwing a ball. So here what happened? Here it is increasing its speed. So here increasing its speed and here decreasing its speed. Okay. So force is applied to put a stationary object into motion by increasing its speed or to stop a moving object by decreasing its speed. Okay. So even force is also said to be applied when an object is twisted, bent or squeezed. So when we squeeze any object or when we twist or bend any object, there also we are applying force. So let me see. So see, you can all see here. So here is a dove where the shape you can see in this image, and even you can see this image also, where we can change the shape by applying force, isn't it? So force is also said to be applied when an object is twisted, as I said before, bent, and here is squeeze, isn't it? And even force is also applied, yes, to change the shape of an object. So here we can change the shape of the object, isn't it? Okay. So even where you can apply, so as you all can see here, to bend, isn't it? To stretch. So here force is needed to be applied. Okay. So next, force is also applied to change the shape of an object. When you write, you are exerting a force, isn't it? So when you will be writing, where the force will be applied? So you will exert a force on the pencil because you push it over the paper, isn't it? So the effect of force is seen by the change in the direction or motion or shape or position of an object to which it is applied, isn't it? So even you can see change in the direction also we are applying force. Even change in the motion also force is applied, and even change in the shape also force is applied, isn't it? So this is all about force. So let me revise once again the definition of the force. Force is defined as a push or pull that makes an object move. Until we push or pull, the objects will not move. When we apply a force on any object, then only the objects can move. Okay, so now let us see the types of forces. Okay, here also you can see when the ball is in a standing position. So when we push or when we pull, the ball will change its position, isn't it? So now types of forces. So there are 5 types of forces. They are frictional force, balanced force, gravitational force, magnetic force, electrostatic force. Okay, so once again, frictional force, balanced force, gravitational force, magnetic force and electrostatic force. Okay, so let us discuss one by one in detail. So friction. Okay, so what do you mean by frictional force? Yes, frictional force is the force that acts between a moving object and the surface along which it comes. Okay, so it takes place when the moving object and the surface along which it comes. Okay, frictional force is the force that acts between a moving object and the surface along which it comes. So here you can see the car which is moving in this direction. Okay, and the friction is taking place here, so which is opposite to the direction. So always the friction takes place opposite to the direction. Okay, so friction force is the force that acts between a moving object and the surface along which it comes. The force of friction acts opposite to the direction of motion, as I said now. Okay, so it plays an important role in our daily life. We should agree this, isn't it? So friction plays an important role in our daily life. So let me tell you how. Okay, so we are able to walk, isn't it? Because of the frictional force between our foot soles and the ground. Because of the friction only we are able to walk. Okay, it is difficult to walk, right? It is very difficult to walk on smooth, slippery or ground, or if the ground is greasy or oily. Let me show you. So here, if the ground is slippery, so is it possible for us to walk? Yes, and even if the place is greasy or even the place is oily, if the ground is oily, is it possible for us to walk easily? Yes? No, we cannot walk easily on the greasy or oily or slippery place, isn't it? Why? Let me tell you. This is because of oil or grease which reduces the frictional force. Okay. So this reduces the frictional force from the ground and our shoes. Okay. So if there was no frictional force between the paper and the pen, we would not have been able to write, isn't it? See, we can write, we can paint, or even we can draw only because of the frictional force, isn't it? So if there was no force between the paper and the pen, is it possible for us to write? Is it possible for us to paint or to draw? No, it was not possible. So because of the frictional force only, we are able to write or paint or draw, isn't it? Yes. So even see, when you walk on the rough place, so here a person who is climbing a mountain, right? So this mountain contains a rough rock, okay, which will be possible for him to climb easily, isn't it? So rough surface generate more friction so that we feel easy to climb, isn't it? So if you see here also, okay, so rough surface generate more friction, right? Smoother surface generate less friction, and even you can see like rolling objects have less friction than the sliding. See here the rolling objects, they have lesser friction than the, here you can see the sliding. So here is rolling and here is sliding. Okay, so rolling objects have lesser friction than the sliding objects. Okay, this is about the friction. So now the next force is, yes, balanced force. Okay, so what do you mean by this balanced force? The equal forces applied in opposite directions are called balanced forces. Okay, so what do you mean by balanced force? The equal forces applied in opposite directions are called balanced force. So let me show you. So you can see here, okay, look at the picture. As the two children here, as the two children are of almost equal weight, isn't it? So these two children are of equal weight. They are not moving much, isn't it? Why? Because they are in a balance, isn't it? So they can maintain a balance here. This boy and here this girl, they are of same weight so that they can manage the balance, isn't it? So now in the tug of war, you can see here. Okay, so in the tug of war game also, as they have shown in the figure, if both the teams are equal in strength, okay, so just balanced. So if here also two and here also two persons, like, and if they are of same weight, so they can easily balance, isn't it? But if you take here only one boy, or if you take more than one boys, then can we balance here? No, it is not possible, isn't it? So the rope here also you can see, if both the teams are equal in strength, they can be balanced. Otherwise, it is not possible. Okay, the rope does not move. In both the cases, see here also and here also, we find that the forces applied in opposite directions are equal. So they are cancelling each other. So here also, this boy is also like he is balancing his weight, and here this girl is also balancing, so that they are in a balanced way. Okay, and here in this game, tug of war also same. If the students or if the people are equal, like it may be they are of same numbers or even weight also, if they are equal, then only we can balance. Otherwise, it is not possible to balance. Okay, this is like balanced force. How can we balance the force? Okay. So next comes the gravitational force. So as you all can see here, how the fruits are falling down, right? So the definition of the gravitational force is the force of the earth pulls all objects down towards it. So here what is happening? The force of the earth pulls all objects down towards it. This downwards pull of the earth is called the force of gravity. Okay, so once again I'll repeat this. The force of the earth pulls all objects down towards it. This downwards pull of the earth is called the force of gravity. So because of the gravitational force, here all the objects, like you can see here, the objects which are coming down to the earth, isn't it? So this is because of the gravitational force, isn't it? Do you think like why it is difficult to climb up a hill? Let me show you. So here you can see climbing up the hill and here coming down the hill. Okay. So where you feel difficult, climbing up or climbing down, coming down? Yes? Yes. Climbing up we feel difficult. Why? I'll tell you. Okay. So the reason is that while going up, we are going against the force of gravity. So we have to apply greater force to go away from the center of the earth, isn't it? So climbing up, what happens there? We are applying much force, isn't it? We are going up, we are going against the force of gravity. So we have to apply greater force to go away from the center of the earth. But while coming down, force of gravity draws us to the center of the earth. So it is easy to come down, isn't it? So do you come to know like why we feel difficult to climb up and why do we feel easy to come down, isn't it? Yes, so there is one more example. Okay. So as you all can see here. So when you throw away anything in the air with a force, as you can see here, this boy, he is throwing a ball, isn't it? Which is more than the force of gravity. It will initially go upwards. So when you throw a ball, it initially goes upwards. But as soon as it loses its extra force gravity, what happens? Yes, the ball comes down, isn't it? Yes. So now once again I'll tell you, like when we throw anything in the air with a force which is more than the force of gravity, it will initially go upwards, but as soon as it loses this extra force, gravity pulls down. So gravity is acting upon every object, isn't it? Whether moving or even at rest also, isn't it? So gravity keeps us and all other objects from floating in space. Otherwise, if there was no gravitational force, then we would fly in the sky, isn't it? So even gravity is present not only on Earth, but also on the moon and other planets, though the amount of pull differs everywhere. Okay, not only the gravitational is present on the Earth, even on the moon and other few planets are also, they also contain the, the gravitational force is also present over there. Okay, so this is about the gravitational force. Okay, so after this, the next force is, yes, magnetic force. So as you can see here, isn't it? So here Earth and here Moon. So other than the Earth, Moon also contains a gravitational force. So now next is magnetic force. So as you all know that what is magnet, right? So it is a force exerted by a magnet. So magnet is a natural substance having the ability to attract iron objects. So what do you mean by magnet? So it is a natural substance having the ability to attract iron objects. Okay, so you can see here. So this is the magnet which has two poles, that is North Pole and here South Pole. Okay, so every magnet has two poles, that is North Pole and South Pole, and these poles have like the magnets, which where the magnets were like iron will attract to the magnet. Yes, to the poles of the magnet, that is North and South. So what do you know the properties of the magnet? Let me tell you, like when we bring north and north, like poles each other. So what happens at the time, whether they attract or they repel? Yes, when like poles we bring each others, they will repel each other, and the unlike poles will attract each other. Okay, north and north, they both are like poles. They will repel each other, they will not attract. But when you bring north and south pole together, they will attract, because unlike poles will attract each other, isn't it? So even you can see how the magnets are attracted to the iron fillings. Okay, so here is magnet. Okay, so north and south pole, these are the poles, and these are the iron fillings which have attracted to the poles of the magnet. Okay, so you all know where the magnets are all used, isn't it? So nowadays we are using magnets in refrigerator doors, isn't it? TVs, computers, toys, stereo systems, and even in speakers also these magnets are used. Okay, fine. So next force is electrostatic force. Okay, so what do you mean by this electrostatic force? Let me tell you. So electrostatic force is the force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body. Okay, so electrostatic force is the force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body. For example, I'll show you. Yes, so here you can see the experiment with the help of comb and the ruler. So it shows the effect of electrostatic force, isn't it? So just you rub a comb or a scale to your head, right? If you have applied oil, then okay, just you rub twice or thrice, then you take small pieces of papers and try to stick. Okay, so what happens? Those small pieces of papers will attract to the either scale or comb. Why it happens? Yes, because of the electrostatic force. Okay, so this is about the electrostatic force. Yes, so now the next topic is work. So what do you mean by work? Yes, work is said to be done when something is moved through a distance, isn't it? So to do work, what we need? Exactly, we need force, isn't it? Force is needed to do work. Okay, this is about force. So next we'll move forward and we will discuss about energy. Okay, so what do you mean by energy? Yes, energy can be defined as the ability to do work. So when we will do work, when we will be having energy, isn't it? So to do work, we need to apply force, isn't it? So to apply force, what do we need? We need energy, isn't it? So energy can be defined as the ability to do work, isn't it? So energy can be defined as the ability to do work, like for any kind of action to take place, energy is required. Okay, so to do any work, we need energy, isn't it? So if I want to move a table, right? So I need energy, isn't it? So when I apply energy, then only I can change the place of this table, isn't it? Yes. So even something, so what happens as a simple like we breathe, isn't it? Even we blink our eyes, for that also we need energy, isn't it? So energy can neither be created nor destroyed, isn't it? So energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy simply changes its form from one kind to another, isn't it? So we all need energy, isn't it? So why do we need energy? To run, isn't it? To play also we need energy. To jump, isn't it? Even to dance also we need energy. And even to study also we need energy, as you can see here, isn't it? To run from one place to another place. To play also we need energy, isn't it? To jump and even to dance also we need energy, and even to study also we need energy. Okay, see, like all the energy which we are applying will be the same? Yes? No. Like, let me tell you, energy can either be created, as I said, it cannot be destroyed. Okay, so energy simply changes its form from one kind to another. So here what happens, to do the physical work extra, like hard workers who will be like constructing workers, they need extra energy, isn't it? Even for the salesmen also they need extra energy, and even for the delivery people, like the people who deliver you pizza and all, they also need the extra energy, isn't it? So for them also they need extra lot energy, isn't it? So now we came to know that force comes from energy, isn't it? We can apply force only with our muscles, isn't it? So from where do we get the energy to apply this force? Yes, exactly. We get this energy from the food we eat, isn't it? So in the same way, in a car or a bus, the engine exerts force which helps in the movement of the car or bus. So you can see here. So it's like we all move from one place to another place and we all do the work and also how it is possible? Because we eat food from which we get energy. So same like that only, even the vehicles like car, bus and all, they also needs to move from one place to another place, isn't it? So they can have food like us. Exactly, not the food which we eat, but the food as a food we can put, like we can use a fuel, isn't it? Like petrol or gas and even diesel also, that can be a food for them to move from one place to another place, isn't it? So they get that, from where do they get this? Yes, they get it from the chemical energy of the fuels like petrol, diesel, isn't it? So if there is no petrol or diesel, when like the cars can move or the bus can move? No, they cannot move as there is no energy, isn't it? So like us, the vehicles also need energy to move from one place to another place, isn't it? So as chemical energy I said, so like this there are different forms of energy, isn't it? So they are like mechanical energy will be there, isn't it? Sound energy will be there, and even chemical energy, as I said just now, isn't it? Even heat energy, light energy, electrical energy. So regarding this in detail, let us discuss in the next class. Okay. So hope you all enjoyed this class. Okay. Thank you.